along with two other muscles. So what are the three muscles that attach to the intertubercular groove on the inside? What are those three muscles?
Pectoralis major.
Yeah.
Teres major.
Yeah.
Then
Lady between two majors?
yeah. Teres.
Lady between two majors. What's the lady?
Latissimus dorsi.
Dorsi. Okay. Now we have the supraspinatus attaching to the top of the greater tuberosity on the outside of the shoulder. And there's three muscles that attach to that. Now, I don't have a mnemonic for that one, but it's not difficult to forget them because there's the supraspinatus, the one on the top, and then there's the one under the spine of the scapula, infraspinatus, and then underneath that is teres minor. Okay? So the three muscles, starting with the top one, supraspinatus. The one under the supra is the infraspinatus, supra, infra. And then under that is teres minor. So teres major, that's one of the majors. He's at that intertubercular groove. The teres minor is going along with two other muscles on the greater tuberosity, all of which comprise three of the four rotator cuff muscles: supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres minor. Okay? On that greater tubercle of the humerus. And you can see it attaching there, and you can see from your picture why, if somebody points to this part or this part of the shoulder, why you would immediately suspect supraspinatus or long-headed biceps. Okay? All right. So supraspinatus is a particularly important muscle. This is the second muscle of the triad of the three of the secret formula for shoulders. Okay? And when we're testing supraspinatus, we want to follow the line of the muscle. I'm just going to have one. Is there a pen? Grab a pen. One of the blue pens then. Red pen. Oh, that one is not the best one. This one's. Ooh, is that a white one? Yeah, it's a white one. Okay. All right. So if we come in on the spine of the scapula, straddle this one. Let's sit this way. The spine of the scapula, you can feel the spine of the scapula. It's above the spine of the scapula, supraspine, above the spine, as opposed to below the spine, infraspine. Okay? It's above. And it will follow along the spine in that groove until it has to go under the acromion. So, you know, it has to course under that bifurcation of the clavicle and the acromion, coursing underneath and then finally attaching to the top of the greater tuberosity. So we're going to draw that line. Not too good of a pen here. This is not the best pen. Is there another pen? Is there better? Pick that one. Is that one better?
This one.
This one's really had this. This one's thick. Okay. Now the thing about this supraspinatus, boy, it rubs off pretty easily as well. That's not too good. The thing about it is that you can only go down to that little bifurcation of the acromion and the clavicle there because you can't get underneath that. That's as far as it goes. But let's follow the line. So if I follow the line, then I'll put his arm in that line. Now, I'll put his arm in that line, bringing it up to, maybe 30 degrees. You gotta stand it up. So you guys are here. Follow the line. So it's just a little bit forward of the body. Now, I'm going to apply the pressure this way. We've already done this test, okay? There we are. And If it drops, it'll just drop into his body. All right? Whenever you do these tests, another thing that you want to do to rule out potential for capsular involvement is what we call O'Brien's test. And you bring that over here and across, and bend the elbow slightly, hold it up, and you press straight down. And he's got a little bit of some capsular weakness in that left arm. And this was also the arm that was weak for latissimus dorsi.
Yep.
And it was also the arm that was impinged, right?
Yep.
Okay, so that all goes along with the whole picture. All right, so let's do the length test for supraspinatus is kind of the opposite. So we want to bring it through, and we want to kind of traction. We want to traction this way and bring it across, just to see if there's a real limitation in this movement. I don't use this length test a lot with supraspinatus. The most important thing to remember for supraspinatus is the strength test, okay? Because the length, there's not a lot of the times where supraspinatus is so significantly shortened that it needs lengthening, but there's a lot of times where, you know, most often it needs strengthening. So strength test is the most important test. All right, now if we're going to strengthen it, let's sit down here. And that's the only one we're going to do here is the TS on this, because I need you to remember this and not get confused, all right? This is a muscle that's hard to kind of really get a hold of it completely in the transverse direction. So sometimes we'll try and use a bit of a twist on this muscle to distort it as much as possible, coming in this way. And you can use your thumb, or you can use your fingers, or we can even use the triggerizer, which Valeria will pull out sometime. Okay, all right, now. So what we do now is we shorten this muscle. You see here it's shortened. You see how we've shortened it. That's why I draw these little hatches, so you can see when the muscle shortens and when the muscle elongates. So we shorten the muscle. Okay, you can see this is shortening it, bringing it from end to end. And the test, the strengthening procedure, the TS procedure, is the muscle coming down through and elongating so that he's going to the opposite knee and to the floor. Okay, keeping the elbow up. Keeping the elbow up. You guys can all do these motions yourself as I'm doing them if you want. You can even do them on each other if you want while we're sitting around. It's up to you. However you want to do it, okay? So you can use your tips of your fingers, which I like to do a lot, or you can use the thumb, or you can use something like this as well, and give it a little bit of a twist as you're going in. The triggerizer. Now these two, I'll show you afterwards what we do with this, because this was the way that we teach you how to do the monomodal trigenics for trainers. But I'll show that to you tomorrow before you leave. In worst case scenario, if you can't remember exactly how to do any of this and you need to do something really quickly, that'll give you a quick fix if you need it, okay? So, and that's what you started with, was just the monomodal.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? So what we're going to do now is I'm gonna get this thing out of the way so I can walk around the table and drop that down for me. Does it go all the way down? No? Okay. But don't worry, don't take it out. Yeah. All right. So sit straddle the table
This
and I'll
one?
walk around this side then, I guess.
Want to go on this table?
This one will be okay now. So I'll just come around. So I'm using a knife edge coming in here, or I'm using my thumb. For me, I like the knife edge, even though it probably has the thumb in the manual. And he's going to come down and through this way. Now, if you can get all the way around, you can also approach it. From the other side. You can approach it from the other side. Use the thumb and do it from here. Breathing. And go. So it depends just on your own sort of body size and the patient's body size, which way you want to do it. And it's totally up to you as long as you do the movement. Breathing and go. Breathing. I'm coming down and in here as he moves and trying to get a little bit of a transverse PDM on this fairly small muscle, as you can see. This muscle here might have a little bit of ischemic compression because it's so deep when we get in there. And I'm actually twisting as I go in to the bottom to try to get that dynamics of that distortion that we want. So you can follow it. Make sure you mark this and then follow this muscle. It's so short that you can do at least 3 or even 4 passes along the length of the muscle itself, more or less. Because most of that is all still basically the body of the muscle anyway, because the tendon actually runs under the acromion, so you're not really on the tendon, you're still on the body right here. Okay? Are you guys with me? Yeah? 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 You sure?
I have a question.
Yeah.
What if there is a tenderness on the supraspinatus muscle?
It's okay.
Still okay. I believe that on the manual it said that the patient should not feel any pain while doing the PDM.
In this particular one, they may feel some pain, a little bit of pain.
So that's okay if
Very
still the
commonly,
patient.
Yeah.
Okay.
They may feel a little bit of pain. A lot of the times, they don't feel very much pain with any of the TS procedures, but the supraspinatus is very often has micro tears and whatnot in it when there's a rotator cuff problem or a frozen shoulder impingement syndrome. There's often inflammation or tendinosis or tendinitis or
Yeah.
partial thickness tears or micro tears. So it will sometimes be painful a little bit.
Okay.
Supraspinatus will be, particularly that muscle.
Okay.
Okay, don't worry about it too much. Unless the patient's just screaming in pain. And,
Yeah.
But
Okay.
it might be a little painful. Okay, that's it. So let's do just that one. You can do mainly you want to do the strength test and the strengthening procedure on that. It's very important. That's why I'm just going to do this